Bring it in, Jay. Hey, we all we got, baby. All we need. That's all we got right here, all right? You're going to get everything out of me. I tell you every time. Get all of it from me, all right? Give me everything you got and let's see what happens. 3 on 3, 1, 2, 3, play.
It'll be first down and 10. How about Derek Carr and the Raiders pushing it right at the Chiefs right now? Jackpot, baby. Touchdown, Vegas. National Football League play is underway from Las Vegas. First touchdown in Las Vegas.
Win, no matter what, win.
First down,
win.
Here comes Higgins behind him. Open up block 20, 25. First down and out to the 31. Great run. That was by Jacobs on first down. This to put it away. Here comes 55-yarder. Yeah, baby. Vegas is going to win. It's the first game in Allegiant Stadium. Nice run after the catch by number 30. On first down, it's Guenther. His first carry of the day. Down the sideline and in. Touchdown Raiders. They have changed things up with that defensive front. Works on play action. Feels the pressure coming. He's going to go down. Second sack. This one from Max Broadside. Team leading fifth.
And Ridley's got the first down credit inside the 45, fighting Lions all the way down to the 42-yard line.
All right, everybody, how you doing? This is Captain Jack here. We got a great crowd in here tonight. I want to first off talk about who we have here. Lenny Altamirez, thank you for being here. We even got Mike Givens, the Philly sports fan, is in here. Thank you for being in here, Mike. Valerie, love my Valerie. Brian, thank you for being here as well, Brian Graveno. Chris Donnet is here. Asylum is here. Thank you all for being here. So again, I want to give shouts for all the folks that are here joining us right now. But I got to give the biggest shout right now to the lady that's on my left on screen. And I tell you what, I dig the fact that this is the first time I've had a chance to do a show with Peggy Holmes, and I get a chance to actually talk with her and see her and get that immediate reaction, because I tell you that Peggy Holmes, when she's pissed and she throws those eyes at you, you know, the talking with the eyes is you know, if you pissed off Peggy Holmes, you're definitely going to see it right here. And that's one of the things that I'm going to be enjoying tonight, is when we're talking about some good things, I'm going to see the face light up. And when we're going to talk about some things that really upset the lady, you're going to be able to see that as well. And again, I thank you, Miss Peggy Holmes. Thank you for being here. It's my pleasure to have you on again.
Good evening, Captain Jack, and I am happy to be here to follow up on my Game 4 discourse about the defense of this team. I'm sure that's the topic that's on everybody's mind.
Oh yeah, well, actually, and that's what we're here for, because again, we're gonna be able to have you call in, but you might want to wait a while, because Peggy's going to give the dissertation, and make sure you throw your comments as well. I will throw the comments up as I see them, so people will be able to see them, and it'll be part of our broadcast as well. But Peggy, you said you were going back to week 4, and if I'm not mistaken, and I did remember that, you were saying how Paul Guenther, as well as John Gruden, in their actions, was losing the team. And did I get that right? And again,
you sure did.
Okay, and again, I didn't go back and say, oh, I got to go back and prep to see what Peggy said. No, I remember that implicitly, and it was hard, but it was heartfelt, and it was true. So I'm going to let you have carte blanche right now. You said it's a follow-up. Full speed ahead, Miss Peggy.
Well, first of all, I wanted to start off by thanking you so much for having me on tonight. I've written a weekly blog every week tracking the progress of the defense. And of course, I always keep up with the stats. But I want to first start talking about leadership, and more specifically, John Gruden's decision-making. Him keeping a guy who has demonstrated that he is unable to bring the Raiders defense to a level that makes us playoff competitive. I thought this was about winning ring number 4, and Gruden has disappointed me. He made a decision to keep a guy that he picked. That's part of the story. But a guy that he thought had a defensive philosophy that was going to work for the team and the players on his team. And it didn't work. It hadn't worked year 1. Okay, you said he didn't have enough talent. Okay, I give that to you. Didn't work year 2. Same kind of stats. You had an outstanding D-line coach that you brought in year number 2, and the young guys responded. Then inexplicably, after year number 2, you get rid of that guy so you can bring in somebody who's a friend of yours when you could have brought him in as a consultant. But instead, you move the guy out who's doing a good job to put your guy in, and now we have a leadership problem. Your guys are not more important than winning games, John Gruden. And this is something that people have talked about Gruden. I've listened to them, but I said we needed to give Gruden time. What he's shown me is that his loyalty to his guys, and Captain Jack, you can check me on this, is more important than winning, more important than those players struggling out on that field. You can clearly see them struggling, especially our young guys. More important than the success of the Raider franchise. And quite frankly, I'm disappointed, Captain Jack.
Well, you got one question already. And again, I don't want to get into your flow, but I know what I'm going to say to this. Ed Winter wants to know why John waited so long. And Ed, my answer to that is John didn't fire him. John didn't fire him. John didn't wait so damn long. He got Mark Davis fired him. So it wasn't like, you know, John, if it was up to John, he'd still be our defense coordinator right now.
That's right. That's right. And that's why I started out talking about leadership. Mark Davis is not his father, Al. His father didn't give him a chance to get immersed in the football, the everyday workings of a franchise. So Mark's on a learning curve. There are times when you have to intervene for the sake of the franchise. Gruden is not God. He's not always going to be right. The decision on Buckner, I felt Mayock should have intervened. But certainly to allow a guy to stay in who keeps bringing you numbers, 27th in points allowed, 31st in sacks, which is just really such a disappointment after they improved so much in year 2. 28th in red zone scoring. And then, of course, 27th against the pass. The pass rush and your pass defense go hand in hand. So you see what your problem is. Those numbers are the same numbers from year 1, the same numbers from year 2, and year 3, we got the same numbers. You cannot be a playoff team with a defense that cannot rush the passer, cannot defend against the pass, cannot stop people from scoring.
Yeah. And like you were saying, we got rid of Buckner. And remember, they were on an upswing with Buckner. The defensive line last year went off a horrific year, and under Buckner, he basically kicked him in the ass, and they were playing a hell of a lot better. And then they got rid of him in order to get Rod Marinelli in there. Now, again, and I think, like you said, Rod's his buddy, so why not have him as a consultant instead of ingesting him into the D-line where the players were responding to Buckner, but in order to, I guess, appease your friend, you fire a guy that had done so well with the young guys. And again, we'll see what Rod Marinelli has, but we lost because of that. And Peggy, I also remember, if I'm not mistaken, you said that Rod Marinelli is not going to be the defensive coordinator.
Correct.
Even if Paul Guenther gets shit canned, which he did. He is the interim defensive coordinator. And I know you have some people that you have thoughts on. And I know you're going to, and again, I hope I'm not rushing you, because I do remember some of the things.
Not at all.
Your thoughts on, the new DC, your thoughts on Marinelli and what we can do to respond.
Well, once again, this old boy network, bring my buddy in no matter how he's doing. The fact that we've got Greg Olson on a team, a guy who's been here before and demonstrated that he couldn't do a job. He goes to Jacksonville and gets fired game 13. These are people that don't have the record of success that we need to get us ring number 4. That is, if that's Gruden's goal. This is not a retirement home for his friends. Marinelli, as I said, was 71. And a lot of people are pointing out, they brought Marinelli in to take Guenther's place. Well, deja vu, we've been here before. What happened in 2017 with Ken Norton Jr., and then they bring in John Pagano as the co-defensive coordinator. They did have the decency to get rid of Norton Jr. early enough so that Pagano could actually teach and train a new system. But let's face it, that way of doing business is not the way championship teams operate. You cannot keep operating where your GM does not step in and stop your head coach from doing things that hurt the team. And Mark has got to get on that page. He's got to understand that certain decisions have to remain in the hands of the GM. And I think that if they don't get this power allocated successfully, if Gruden continues to make decisions and not be checked by his GM, then we will be doomed to watching mediocrity for his entire 10 years. Captain Jack, I don't know about you, but Marinelli, the D-line has regressed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like we're saying, Buckner had him doing good things, and then you figured that Marinelli would at least hopefully keep a progression there, and they did not. They've regressed. And So you're saying, okay, well, Marinelli's going to hopefully do some things better. Well, he's got to start with the guys that he's supposedly in charge of first, and that's with the defensive line.
The pass rush, the pass rush, the pass rush. We've been talking about this for, I want to say 18 years, but let's go back to 10 years. We just haven't had the kind of success on that front four that we need to have. And it does start with personnel. It starts with talent. It starts with emphasis, a change in emphasis on finding a beast at defensive tackle first, and then building by finding good role players. You've got Crosby, you've got Farrell, you got the role players. You don't have the beast. And if you don't have the beast, everything coalesces around him. Mack is prospering in Chicago because of Akeem Hicks. You can look at the structure of any D-line. Look at Washington, the Washington football team's D-line. I mean, it starts with a guy in the middle that's pushing that pocket and allowing those edges to collapse on the quarterback. And it happens quick and it happens soon. And all kinds of good things happen when the quarterback is constantly under pressure. But the Raiders don't seem to feel that's a priority, even though they've seen, Captain Jack, they've seen years of this happening. I don't know what to say. We've talked about it. Now let's get to our list of defensive coordinators.
Oh, wait. Let me do this like they do, like for the greedy person that's say, oh, what am I going to get? What am I going to get? What am I going to get? Or at least an operative of who you think we're going to get.
I don't know, but one thing Gruden has to change his attitude. The guy we get in here, it's not going to be his buddy or his bosom pal or a guy he used to work with, although one guy is on my list that he used to work with. The defensive coordinator that we need is going to be standing down the sidelines, far away from Gruden, running his show, separate from Gruden.
But before you say his name, let me see if I can guess it. Raheem Morris.
He's not number one on my list, but he's one of the people on my list.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And this is assuming he doesn't get the Atlanta job, which is a high probability.
I don't think he is going to get the Atlanta job. He's done well there, but I think that they're going to go for more splash. But go ahead.
Raheem's on my list, but really number one on my list is Wade Phillips for a number of reasons. And if people are talking about, oh, he's experienced the 3-4. Wade Phillips has done 3-4-4-3. The guy is so good. He can take your guys, assess them, and find out what defense they're supposed to be in. That's the kind of guy we need. You got Dan Quinn out there, author of the famous Legion of Boom, right? Up in Seattle. He's out there. You got Lovie Smith out there, just fired from Illinois. So, I mean, that's a guy who has demonstrated that he can put together, he can assess the personnel he has and put together a defense that will help. And of course, Greg Williams, my favorite.
Yep.
He's a Raider. I don't care how reckless he is. I know he knows how to use the personnel that he has, and you're going to have a coherent defense that the players will not only understand, but enjoy playing in. So what you think of my list, Captain Jack?
Okay, I want to make sure I got these. I got Lovie, Wade, Dan Quinn, Greg Williams, Raheem Morris. Did I miss one?
Lovie, Wade, Raheem Morris, and Greg Williams.
Yeah, and Quinn. Lovie, Wade, Dan Quinn, Greg Williams, and Raheem Morris. Yeah, I got 5. Okay.
And I'm not sure what's going to happen in San Diego at the end of the season. But
please don't tell me, Lynn.
Well, you know what? I put my list together based on a number of things.
Yeah.
And I think people out in the audience will agree with me. First of all, we need a DC that can attract top staff. No first timers, no college guys, no guy that somebody that you know recommended that you think is ready to step up to DC. We don't need that. We need a guy that can attract top assistants, that has a track record, a resume, that has had and managed top 10, 15 defenses for a long time. We need a personnel evaluator, a guy that can look at film, can look at the way a player plays in practice and says, oh, you don't need to be a strong safety. You need to be a free safety. We need a guy like that. And Captain Jack, I know you got to agree with me. We have been long lacking defensive coordinators that can judge talent.
Yeah.
And play it correctly.
Yeah, and I agree. Now that's a strong list. I'll even go with Lynn because there are plenty of people that are good defensive coordinators or offensive coordinators that make horrific head coaches, and I think that's Lynn, that's Norv Turner, that's Jack Del Rio.
Oh yeah.
Although, you know, and don't.
He's still got a following in the nation. Don't get me started on him.
Yeah, and I don't want, and to be honest, I don't want any part of Jack Del Rio.
No.
Because of he was last in the office and first to leave, and if that's going to be the person that you are, I don't want no part of you. And like I said, plus he has other issues that I won't speak of, but Peggy and I will probably talk. And I think Peggy and I are probably like this. We know what those issues are. Peggy knows a lot of good shit. So
and listen, Del Rio should be very happy in Washington. He's got a defense to die for.
Oh yeah,
he's got a cannot fail situation in Washington. He needs to stay on there and be happy. You know, yeah. I have no desire to have a guy back that once again doesn't put the franchise first, doesn't put the players first. And the guys on my list, I have seen them do that for years. I have seen them come in and organize chaos. And I have seen them improve defenses.
From your list, and I'm not going to add Lynn to that list as of yet. We are in total agreement with Greg Williams. I've been pounding for weeks even prior to the Jets game. I said Greg Williams, when he's let go at the end of the year, okay, and I was before I knew the circumstances of him being let go. But I said when Greg Williams is let go at the end of the year with the New York Jets, I want him as our defensive coordinator. And folks, absolutely. Greg Williams is all about intensity, and he was all about FU. And I firmly believe that his calling a cover zero on the last play of the game, which the Raiders won because of that, was his way of saying, F you, we're going after Carr, and we're going to bury him.
That's right.
Live by the sword, drive by the sword. And he's lived by the sword a lot more often, victorious, with some fantastic defenses wherever he goes. In New Orleans, obviously, they talk about Bounty Gate. But you know what? If you don't think that the Raiders of the 70s did the same thing.
That's exactly right.
There you go.
There you go. Headhunters.
Yeah, they were. And they would put money on it too.
The aggressiveness, I love it. I mean, everything that Greg Williams showed me, I had actually no problem with his gamble on that last play. It shows decisiveness. It shows responsiveness to situation. All game long, the Jets have been able to put heavy pressure on Carr. And I think they sacked him, correct me, Captain Jack, a couple of 3-4 times in that game. Certainly they were pressuring him all game long.
Yes.
What were the odds that they were going to get to him? I like a guy who decides to put faith in his guys. And we have been sorely lacking that kind of defensive coordinator for I don't know how many years. So what do you think about the other guys?
Oh, well, I like Greg Williams and Dan Quinn with the Legion of Boom. I like him because, again, he's aggressive. And, you know, we had, quote unquote, a disciple of the Legion of Boom with Ken Norton. But, you know,
shadow.
Why get a student when you can get the teacher?
There you go.
Okay. Why get, you know, if you want, and I don't know who Aristotle, he was the understudy or he was the mentor. I can't remember which. You know, Aristotle and Socrates or Aristotle. Why get the student when you can get the master?
That's right.
In that respect, I agree with Dan Quinn as well.
And let me add another aspect to everybody on my list, which is player development. I mean, do you think Wagner and Sherman and all those guys were playing at that high level when Quinn got a hold of them? No, he brought them to that level. They were playing like a unit. I mean, devouring people. We just absolutely have to have somebody who recognizes the personnel he has, knows how to bring the best out of them.
Yeah. Now, I like Wade Phillips, but, and here's the guy, and it's not even about the 3-4 aspect, because like you said, Wade Phillips takes the players you have and implements a system around the players, not the other way around. He's not going to say, oh, well, I'm sorry, guys, I only run a 3-4, right, so we're going to have to scrap this. No, Wade Phillips will run with the talent that's in front of him. So I like that, but he is 85 years old. I mean, and Marinelli doesn't want to be, and again, you know me, I'm not ageist. I'm not an ageist person because you and I have to deal with ageism a lot. It's not an ageism thing, but do you really think that at 85, and he's probably healthier than the both of us, but I just don't know how much more he's got.
And I agree with you, Captain Jack. I mean, the age is an issue, but at the very least, to bring this guy in as a consultant, or in some way to help you pick the next candidate. I just don't. If Wade is offering his help, you need to take it. There is nobody out there that understands how to put together defenses. Average guys, role players, put them in the proper place and in a position to make plays. Yeah. I just don't know anybody better at it.
Oh, I got you. And it's like, do you remember when we used to have Al Sanders as our Saunders? Al Saunders as our offensive consultant. Okay. Trust me, I'd like to have Wade Phillips as a defensive consultant. I'd like Al Saunders to come back and tell John, you know, John, you really need to kick it into high gear because, and we're going to go this because again, I love all your, even Raw Morris, and I hear Raw Morris because here in Tampa he was a raw guy. Raw might be not the pick of the litter, but he might be the pick of what is either available or will deal with Gruden because he's dealt with Gruden before. I personally like Greg Williams, but I don't know whether Greg Williams would coexist well. He did coexist well with Sean Payton, so maybe he can do that. If John Gruden tells him, or actually if Greg Williams tells John Gruden, because I have a feeling that it would be this, John, I got the defense, back the F off, do your crap. And I
can't tell you how many championship teams operate the same way. The head coach and the defensive coordinator barely speak. They don't need to speak. They just need to do their jobs. I grew up here in Washington, D.C. and watched Joe Gibbs and Rich Pettibone. They rarely talked during the game. They were up and down the sideline doing their thing. Perfect combination. Gibbs was the offensive genius. Pettibone just kept producing good defenses and kept getting the best out of the players that he had. And they went through many cycles of players in that 12, 13-year run. I just have to say, you cannot, this thing with Peyton and Greg Williams, no need for you to get along. Gruden, it's not, you got to understand, you're not going to have your buddy as defensive coordinator. You're not going to have a yes man. Okay. You're going to have a guy who has probably already been a head coach. So he knows your job.
Yeah. Neil Backman says he's 73. I'm sorry. I thought I actually saw something where he was 85. If I'm giving him 12 more years, I apologize. Because, you know, I'm only 29 years old as it is.
That's right. I'm 32. And look, this the fact that I didn't even care what age Wade was. Okay. I just know that with every team I've ever seen him with, starting in the 80s, he has those defenses organized with average guys. And suddenly average guys turn into good players. And good players turn into great players. I mean, it happens every time he takes hold of a defense.
Okay, I want to welcome some viewers that came in. Sonny Jeffers, don't worry about being late. You're here, and that's important. Love to Rose Ortega. I hope I didn't lose my other. I love my ladies. Love Rose. Love Val. I hope I didn't lose Val. Greater Neil Backman, thanks for coming in as well. We saw from Jason Dean. Thanks for being here as well. And I agree. His track record is there. So what I want to do is, because it looks like a lot of people, they got questions for you, Peggy. Do you think, or do you mind?
Nope, I don't mind at all.
Okay.
One more thing though, before I've concentrated on defense. I just want to put in one note about our red zone offense.
Oh, please do.
We're ranked 17th now. We score 59% of the time we're in the red zone. It's a very frustrating thing. I have no idea who is calling the plays in the red zone, okay? I don't know what kind of little thing Olsen and Gruden have going here. Again, it's one of his buddies, one of his yes men. And Gruden has this unholy alliance going on with Olsen that I do not know. Half the time I look at some of those plays, Captain Jack, you have a good memory. Them little dinks and dunks and things are so reminiscent of the kind of plays Olsen calls.
Yeah.
And I just can't, I just get this feeling of deja vu when I see some of the plays, but the lack of imagination, of creativity in the red zone is a real problem.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I will say this. I don't know who called the Zay Jones pass, but I almost fell off my chair when I saw that. I was like, wow, something that's fresh. And you know what? Use it. Okay. I mean, but you know, the bad thing is that they waited in this long. We could have used it back, you know, for another game when we really needed it. It was so great to see. But again, we need to do something about that. And I tell you what, if you want to talk to Peggy, if you want to talk to myself, you want to talk to yourself, you want to have us listen to the talk, the line is now open, 813-699-0834, 813-699-0834. So I'll get back with some of the, and I'll throw these up as well. Yep, Olsen is a train wreck. And again, this is another reason why having Wade Phillips here with two of the guys you already had, he definitely make him
absolutely. I mean, he's taken Guenther's defensive philosophy, the way he conceives defense. That's where the problem was. That's why every player that came in, no matter who we brought in, was quickly lost in this defense. It's almost like a read and react thing that Guenther was trying to do. And only vets and mind readers can thrive in a system like that. You certainly are lacking the on-the-field leadership those young guys need. Guenther never developed it. He never takes advantage of the personnel he has, the situations. I can't believe some of the defenses that I see when the guys are running on top of us and he's in some sort of 4-2 whatever, 4-2-5, and they're running on top of us. Guys, you need 5 men up front. If you're going to put only 2 linebackers, they need to be in the middle of the formation, not on the edges. I mean, I understand contain, but these guys are running right up our gut.
Okay, I mean, and we do got a call for us there, Peggy. It's Raider Neil Backman. Raider Neil, talk to us. What you got going on tonight?
Hi, Raider Neil.
Hello, Captain. Hello, Peggy. First of all, Captain, I'd like to congratulate you on your choice of a guest. She's extremely knowledgeable.
Oh, hell yes, she is.
Thank you.
I have to tell you, you have said everything that I've had pent up and wanted to say for the last 20 years, and I thank you for that. I finally heard someone say what I've been thinking. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Captain, I can't hang around very long. I just wanted to check in and say hello to the followers out there in Raider Nation and to say hello to your guest. So I'm going to drop out now and let somebody else call in.
Okay, well, Neil, it's great hearing from you. I appreciate you doing it because it gave me time to share this up to Facebook to tell all those Facebookers to get their ass over here and listen to a great show instead of, somebody that's just doing whatever, and again, Neil, I appreciate you being here, brother. It's always a pleasure.
No problem. I'll hang on and I'm going to listen to the show and watch the comments again. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you, Captain.
All right. Thanks again, Neil.
All right. Happy holidays.
There you go. And again, like I said, these are the things that we're screaming, Peggy. I know that
since game one, I have been screaming about a defense that's so disorganized that it does not know, the right foot doesn't know what the left foot is doing. I see some of those formations and I'm saying to myself, what is he hoping to accomplish? Why is he using the players that he's playing in that formation? Why is he continuing to rush 4 when he can't get a pass rush? Why does he not use those linebackers for what they were meant for, to pressure the line of scrimmage? I've been asking that for years now, but I'm kind of upset that John Gruden made me continue to ask and didn't do anything about it. I am really disappointed in Gruden for not, he has to, of all people, he has to know, you don't have a top 15 defense, you don't go to a Super Bowl.
No. And all those people that got pissed off at me on Facebook because I had the audacity to say, well, folks, if you were thinking about anything going on in January, it just went right down the toilet a couple minutes ago when the Browns lost. And they're like, how dare you say that? I'm like, look,
crushing their hopes.
Are you friggin' kidding me? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First off, we have to win out. We have to win out. And that's the tall order. I don't think that's going to happen at all. And we got Mike Sarah coming in on the line. Stand by. Mike, can you hear us? Can we hear you?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, brother? Are you working out? Because normally you are.
I'm walking right now outside. It's about 30 degrees, and it's pretty damn cold, but just keeping exercising out here right now.
Hey, Raider G was calling in. I'm sorry, Raider G. Wait till Mike Sarah does his thing. I gotta flip the banner. Sorry, because people call in otherwise. Go ahead, Mike. Raider G, call in about 5. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I'll just be real quick, Peggy. You're spot on and everything. You were the one, I think you were on the show maybe 2 months back, and you had mentioned the whole thing about not changing out the defensive coordinator. Gruden was going to lose the team, and I think that's already happened. I pretty much think the season's over, and I think it's pretty much because Gruden lost the team, like we predicted.
Peggy, are you having issues?
Yeah, I'm just having a little bit of hard time, but these are old ears here, so you know, I don't know. I'm sorry that Cap Jack had to deliver y'all the news that the season is over, but the season is over because someone did not commit to defense. The season was over when it started.
Yeah,
And
yeah, we're still here, partner.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had to take off my headphones.
oh no, I hear you and I agree with everything you said. I mean, it's bad news, but certainly after that horrendous loss before the Jets game, I mean, we needed to win out in order. There's too much good competition in the AFC this year. The AFC is the dominant conference this year, and we're gonna feel a lot of good teams. And I'm afraid that we just don't meet up to the punch. We met a playoff ready team Sunday, and we came up wanting.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I just think you're spot on with what you're saying about Gurdon. I don't know what your opinion is, if you think he actually lost the team or not, but that's my opinion.
Now, I just think that when you have a unit that's performing as badly as that defense is performing, it drags the rest of the team down, and it takes away from discipline. You see things going on, and you say to yourself, why is this allowed to happen? If you're on offense, you're thinking, why are these guys allowed to make mistakes and play as atrocious as they're playing, and I can't drop a ball? I can't. If no turnovers, every drive I have to score because these guys can't keep anybody out of the end zone. It's demoralizing.
You're right. You've been watching the same games I've been watching.
Yeah. And for folks, in case you were wondering, we are now graced with if I can get my stuff on. Boy, you guys with the comments are so damn fast. I apologize. We are also graced with Mob Boss. Mob Boss, thank you for being here, shipmate.
Hey, Mob Boss.
Hey, how you doing, Peggy? How you doing, man, shipmate? Man, good to see you again, man. It's been a minute, but if this is the only way we get to connect, man, I'll take it.
Hey, it's better than not connecting, and I appreciate that as well. I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely, man. You know I got mad love for you, Captain.
Okay, and Peggy's been blowing stuff out. I mean, she's firing her broadside, which is
I heard her, but she's right.
Yeah,
she's right.
She's been firing her broadside, and I didn't see you backstage for a while because I'm a one-man crew, so I apologize. But there you go. Mob, and I'm Peggy. I'm not gonna silence you, but I'm gonna let Mob Boss talk a little bit about what he's taught with Paul Guenther and the Raiders situation. You got the floor, partner.
Captain, all I can say is it's about time. This move should have been made 3 games ago. Mm-hmm. It really should have been made 3 games ago, if not sooner, right? We've known we've had problems on our defense. We know we have problems in our secondary for quite some time. Guenther just wasn't doing it. He's not motivating our players to play the way they need to play to keep us in a position to win. We finally got things on track with the offense. The offense is high-powered. It's scoring a lot. It's doing all the things we wanted them to do. Derek Carr's running the ball now, doing all those things that we complained about our offense. And it seems like we got one side of the ball fixed, and then we left the other side of the ball just, out there swinging. And so I know this move was coming. I knew this move was coming. And it should have been, like I said, it should have been made a lot sooner, because now what good is it if you're out of the playoffs to make a move like this and you're out of the playoffs? It doesn't change a whole lot, right? We still got a slim chance, about that big after last night's loss. The Browns lost last night, so that really kind of threw everything out of whack as far as our hopes to make it to the playoffs this year. We had such big dreams about at least making the playoffs. But we should have done this. We should have been done this. That should have happened a long time ago. But what I am going to say with that, even though sometimes it takes the change of a coach to get the motivation out of our players, but I'm not going to put everything on our players. I mean, I'm not going to put everything on the coach.
I agree.
No matter what scheme, any defense coordinator, you could go out there and grab anybody, right? No matter what scheme that they give to the players, if our players are not stepping up and executing, it's not going to work. You could have anybody be the defensive coordinator. Our players still have to step up. Now, maybe it was Guenther wasn't reaching them, wasn't motivating them enough, or whatever the case may be, but he wasn't getting the potential out of those players that we got, because we got solid players on our defensive side of the ball. It's just they're not executing, especially in our secondary. Our secondary is getting killed. We've been fighting the secondary for years, you know. So maybe it is a good thing that we're going to get some new blood in there and try to work with these guys and try to get more out of them and get them to execute the way that they should execute on the field. And maybe we'll see that playoff berth that we've been waiting on.
Well, I tell you, I'll bet some of your money, because if you were to say, now remember, folks, in order for us to get to the playoffs, and I say us or the royal we, okay, the Raiders to get to the playoffs, the first thing we got to do is win out. Sorry. That naturally came up because I had something in my throat.
Yeah, we need to remove. Yeah, then we need to take something out of your throat. Go ahead.
Okay. The second thing is that we got to win out. Okay. Yeah. And the likelihood of that right now, I'm putting it at a 10% chance, and only because it's Tuesday, 10 for Tuesday. Okay. And I will say,
comes game day.
Right. I will say, let me see what happens Thursday. Okay. Yeah. Let me see what happens Thursday. Small plug here. If you're an Apple user and you're not listening to me do the broadcast, shame on you, because you don't have to listen to a bunch of Raider haters. I'll give you the information. Small plug. And I will have a show after the game. So be here. After the game, I will have another show. Sorry, small plug. It just, the segue was there. But we'll see after the game how I feel about that. Because if we still look lost, that 10% will go down to 0.10%.
Right.
Because again, you have to win out. And if we don't win, if we don't look good, then that the minuscule, because I tell you what, Baltimore is going to win out.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to win out.
If any indication of Lamar Jackson after last night's showing, Baltimore's going to be tough on their way out, and they want it. They want it bad. So it's going to be tough to get over them. And you know, like I said, we have no choice. Our backs are against the wall right now. We have no choice but to win out if we can, and that would give us our only slim chance of making. But then you got Lamar Jackson out there that is just, what can you say about that guy, man? He's putting that team on his back, and he's trying to drag them to the playoffs. And that's what we need. We need something like that, somebody that's willing to say, by all means. And you know, our spirit is never give up, never die, man, down to the end. So I haven't given up anything yet. I'm still rooting that we're gonna, you know, by some chance we're gonna make it to the playoffs, and then maybe that boost of energy of making it to the playoffs will carry us in the playoffs. Because sometimes that's all it takes, man, to turn the corner, is to get there. Once you get there, that extra gear kicks in. The players, you know, see that it's out there, it's reachable, it's attainable, and they step it up to another notch. So if we could at least get there, I think that would change the whole dramatics of everything that's going on. But it's up to us right now. We're in a corner. We're in a corner, and we got a lot stacked against us. So we'll see Thursday.
Yeah. And
right.
let me say this. When you watch that game Thursday, I would like you to watch for certain basic skills on defense.
Tackling.
Number one, getting off blocks.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2, positioning yourself at the point of attack.
Absolutely.
Number 3, recognition, being at the place where the play is coming. Those are the 3 skills that Guenther should have been teaching for the last 3 years that our guys just don't have. But getting off their blocks, getting to the point of attack, we have major issues there.
Absolutely, Peggy. I totally agree. I think really our biggest things are just the stuff that we as, that I remember growing up, Pee-wee football, the basics, wrapping up when you tackle, being at the point of attack, being in the right place, being in the right positions and things like that. Those were all basic little things that we were taught as Pee-wee players to do. And now here we are, our defense is at an NFL level and they're missing all that stuff. They're missing all that stuff, man.
They can't wrap and tackle though if they're getting off the block 1 and 2 seconds late. They're trailing.
And they're moving.
Not in a position to wrap and tackle. There's no way you can wrap and tackle when you're fighting to get through the block. I mean, there's some people that just disappear. Corey Littleton and Kwiatkowski, they just disappear. Yeah. I mean, it's just like a cloud of dust. Yes, Captain.
Peggy, I'm sorry. Hey, G, are you still on?
She is on it tonight. All I can say, she's on.
Okay. I'm sorry because I have to stop you, Peggy, because I want to make sure that Raider G and he came back. Y'all know Raider G. Raider G is in the house with
Raider G.
Raider G, what do you got for us tonight?
He has the #1 Raiders podcast in all of YouTube. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Captain Jack.
I love it.
I love that. I'm sorry. I had to let him do that because it's good. Thank you there, partner. What do you got for us tonight?
First of all, before I get started, I know I just have 5 minutes. I want to say hello to your guests, Miss Peggy and MOBB. Miss Peggy, I think at the top of the show, you said that you were from DC. I'm originally from Virginia, so it's that we all, we're both from that DMV area, baby.
DMV, that's right.
I listened to everything that you said, and I mean, you were on point. Actually, you made some of the points that I was going to make when I called in, so you actually made me some breath. But what I really wanted to ask you and Captain Jack, because at the top of the show, you guys said something. I don't know if I misheard it or not, but correct me if I'm wrong. But both of you said that John Gruden did not fire Paul Guenther. Is that correct?
From what I understand, that is correct. It was Mark Davis because John Gruden won't fire buddies.
Nope. And
from what I got, and like I said, not that I called Mark personally, but I got it through several sources that was all Mark Davis. And Mark even told Mayock, because I'm sure Mike Mayock probably wanted to, but I don't know how contentious that is. Mark basically said, well, don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of it. Because remember, Mark Davis fired Jack Del Rio on the field. He didn't even get his ass off the field in Los Angeles. And Mark Davis said, been real, been fun, bye-bye. Okay, that was Mark Davis. That was not John Gruden.
Captain, I really agree with you on this point.
Raider G, 1 second. Go ahead, MOBB. Go ahead, MOBB.
Okay. I agree with what you're saying, and I believe that's why it took so long for the move to happen and for the firing to happen, is because they are buddies. And it's hard to go to your buddy and say you're just not cutting it, man, and you got to go. And I think that's why it took so long for the move to happen. And so as much as we want to strangle Mark Davis from time to time, he knows what's right. He knows what's right. It's his organization. And if the coach ain't stepping up and making it happen, you got to be the guy to go down there and make it happen. And that's the way it looks. That's the way it looks. Because even if you look at Chucky's interview afterwards and after this was all done, you could see it in his face that it really wasn't something that he really wanted to do. Maybe he was forced to do, or Mark did it for himself, or however it worked out. But you could just tell from the answers and his body language, he wasn't really necessarily happy about letting him go, but something had to be done. Something. We couldn't continue to go another week, go another day without some change. Something had to happen. And that's the only way to get better is you got to confront the problems head on and make something happen. It doesn't always, it's not always a good feeling. It's not always the good thing, but sometimes separation is good, man. And it gives an opportunity for somebody to bring some different energy into that defense and try to get that spark under them that we need, because it doesn't do no good to put 40 points on the board and then we turn around and give up 45 points. It just does us no good. So
hey, I'd like to see 40 points again there, Mob. I'd love to see 40 points. I think we've seen it one time this year.
We're going to still continue to see the high-power offense that we got. It's not going to slow down. You're going to see even more as we get into, next year or whatever the case may be. We are online and on target with this offense the way we need it to work. We're not like segregating like we have in the past, where we only go to one or two players. You run the ball a lot and then you only pass to one person. We have spread the ball out to Aguilar, Wolf. Just everybody has touched the ball and made this happen. And that's why you're seeing so many points on the board, because we're spreading the ball out. They don't know where to defend us at. They don't know if to run. They don't know if the double team, Ruggs out there. They don't know what to do. People are confused because they've never seen this from us before. We've always been that 5 yard, swing pass, We've been that dink and dunk kind of offense for so many years. People are not adjusted to what we're doing right now on offense, and that's why you're seeing so many points. And that's exactly it. And that's what we have to continue to do. We got to continue to do that.
Okay. Hey, I want Raider G. Raider G, I haven't forgotten about you, brother. I got a captive up between Peggy and Mob. I ain't gonna get a word in that one. So I just want you to know I didn't forget about you, G. You got anything else going on? Because I know you had one or two other questions.
This next one is just going to be a statement. So if it is true of what you guys say that John Gruden did not fire Paul Guenther, then it's safe to say that John Gruden will not hire his replacement. So let's just get that out the way. If it's true that Mark Davis fired Paul Guenther, Mark Davis is not going to entrust John Gruden to hire someone else.
I wouldn't trust him. Yeah.
It was Mark Davis. It was Mark Davis that hired Jack Del Rio. Not only did he fire him, he also hired Jack Del Rio because Reggie McKenzie wanted Tom Cable to be the coach.
I remember that. You're absolutely right.
That's when Mark Davis stepped in and said, no, Jack Del Rio is my coach. So it'll be interesting to see. But I just want to say this, and then I'll get off the phone. I know we're talking about the defense. I know the defense has been horrendous. But remember, we played well in spurts. We were inconsistent throughout the whole season. We played pretty good against Kansas City. The defense, for the most part, played pretty good against Atlanta. But you know what we aren't talking about? What Raider Nation isn't talking about is the accountability or the lack thereof from the offense. When you can put up 40 points against the Chiefs, but only put up 6 points against the Atlanta Falcons, that is not on the defense. That is not on Paul Guenther. We just played, when we played Sunday, our offense only put up 6 points in the third quarter. And the 7 points that we did score in the fourth quarter came with 55 seconds left in garbage time. So, okay, Guenther is gone. But what I want to see Thursday night is the offense going to bring our game, because the offense, just like the defense, has been consistently inconsistent. I don't know what Raider team we're going to see Thursday. I know a lot of Raider fans are optimistic about if we win out, we go to the playoffs. No, you can distinguish between the playoff teams that are vying to get into the playoffs because they're playing their best football. We saw Cleveland last night. We saw Baltimore last night. You look at the Washington football team. In the month of December, everybody is playing their best football except for the Raiders. We have played worse have to say. Hopefully we can change it around, but I just don't see it. Even with the change, and I'm not looking for Marinelli to do a wonder job within 4 days with the defense. You know, I'm not expecting us to be a top 10 defense after we play the Chargers. I think we'll be better. How better? I don't know. But our defensive coordinator will, you know, he's the interim DC. The next 3 games will pretty much determine if he gets retained or not. So the job is his to lose. And
we don't want Marinelli retained.
I'm sorry. I mean, he's got to do the job in the meanwhile, but I'm looking to go out and get somebody.
Hey, G, all 3 of us are of one mind. Rod is there for 3 games because first off, Rod doesn't want to be there beyond 3 games. He wants one job, and that was the D line. And oh, by the way, he might not be with a job next year, depending upon who we get in as defensive coordinator. Okay.
Yeah, new defensive coordinator might want a whole new, staff. He might want a new defensive line coach. He might want a new,
I hope so.
But but this is what it is right now at this current moment. That's what we have. So we have to deal with what we have until we can go out at the end of the season and go grab somebody that's going to come in here and make our defense competitive. Because right now our defense is not competitive, right?
And one thing I wanted to add about, and I'd hate to cut you off. Some things that football fans don't understand about the codependence of an offense and a defense. The good coaches understand this. If one unit is not performing at their best, eventually it leaks into the other unit. There is something to be said for an offensive player looking out there every game knowing that the gun is to their head, snap one, because every time they look around, somebody's scoring on that defense. The pressure, the psychology of it. You got to understand, people can't function like that. Carr can't function like that. The offense can't function like that. That you can't make mistakes because your defense is giving up all these points.
I totally agree. That puts a lot of pressure. And Carr already had a lot of pressure coming into the season to produce, right? And then to put the fact of our defense is giving up so many points, so now I got to produce even more because I got to outscore these people because our defense,
and I can't make any mistakes. I can't turn the ball over. I can't have drives that stall.
Almost every drive, he feels like I have to put us in a position to score because I can't rely on our defense to stop nobody. That's a lot for a quarterback to have to carry, and he has a lot to carry already. Just in his own personal being, because we all love Carr, but a lot of us were after his head. You know what I mean? We've been after his head for years, saying, okay, enough is enough. Let's get him out of there. So he had a lot of pressure coming into the fact, but now he's taking up the defensive pressure because I'm trying to outscore these people because our defense is not helping me on the other side of the ball. So that's a lot for offense to carry every game in, game out.
Every game. You're right.
Okay. I got to stop you both again because I heard G with a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. G, you were trying to get a word in. I'm trying to help out. Go ahead, brother.
Because the truth of the matter is, I'm going to pinpoint the Atlanta Falcon game. The Atlanta Falcon game, our starting quarterback had 3 turnovers and 1 pick six. The defense was playing good first half that game. Granted, Guenther should be fired. Let me say that. I'm not trying to justify, that we shouldn't have fired. He should have been gone. But we cannot hold the offense blameless, And the truth of the matter is that scoring 40 points against Kansas City is good. But how do you explain 6 points? So you're basically saying, Bob, and again, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. You can't blame those 6 points that the offense against Atlanta because on the defense, it's basically what you're saying that that Derek Carr is so stressed out. Well, I got to do this, I got to do that because the defense is not this. No, he has to be held accountable too. And all I'm saying is that our offense is starting to look like the offense of the second half of last season. Okay, so Guenther is gone. We're going to see what the next 3 weeks bring. I'm looking at it more from an offensive standpoint. We all know our defense has been putrid for the most part all season long. I get that. But you know what? The offense has, and when I say the offense, that includes John Gruden too, because our red zone offense is still terrible. So all I'm saying is that there has to be some accountability on that side of the ball as well. I think I read somewhere today where the offense has $52 million more, I guess,
cap money, yep.
Than the defense. So, of course, and I'm not going to really completely blame that on John Gruden and Mike Mayock because they weren't the ones who gave Derek Carr that big-time contract. They just weren't. But truth of the matter is that, you know, the offense has to be held to some accountability. Okay, Guenther is gone. We'll see what these next 3 weeks bring. Again, I'm not looking for some 360-degree turnaround from the offense, but I'm telling you.
No, not 360 because then we'll be heading in the same direction.
Yeah, we'll be going backwards. We don't need that.
Let's go. Hey, let's go like 110 degrees. We'll do that.
Right. But I agree with you, Raider G. I understand what you're saying, and I do agree because if you look over the last couple of weeks in the red zone, we're coming away with, you know, sometimes nothing or just 3 points when we should have been in the end zone. So you gotta make those red zone count.
Thanks again. And Gene's still on. I'm sorry, you guys are kind of talking over each other. MOBB was saying thank you for your comment as well there, G. Thank you for being here. G, listen up because I want MOBB to repeat what he was saying. G, thanks for calling in, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for taking my call. Take care.
All right. That was G. And again, I want him because you were giving some accolades and you were going back. And trust me, I love it when we can agree to disagree on some things. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, all I was saying is that I do agree with Raider G. I'm not putting all the blame on our defense. You know, we got some accountability problems on the offense as well because, like I said, if you look over the last 3 weeks or so, our red zone appearances we're terrible. You know, we're coming out with nothing, or we're coming out 3 points when we should have been in the end zone. We're not doing well in the red zone. You know, we're scoring a lot off of big plays and things like that. But when we get actually in the red zone, we're getting our heads tapped. So I do agree with Raider G when he says that. I'm not going to put all the blame on just the defense. But if you look at the scheme as a whole, the biggest problem that we're having right now is coming from the defense. It's just bottom line. We're not tackling well. We're not covering receivers well. Our secondary's getting burnt out there. Our safeties are nowhere to be found. You know, people are sitting in the end zone wide open, and there's no safety nowhere within 15 yards. That's a problem. That's a problem. Those things that are on the offense side of the ball, we've always had those issues, and you can see that we have tried to better ourselves on the offensive side of the ball, and it's working because you see it on the scoreboard. So not putting all the blame on the defense, but our defense is hurting really, really bad. And I don't know what we're going to do about this secondary, man, because this secondary is getting tore up.
Captain Jack, I'll be even more frank. Point number one that I wanted to make. Other teams have defenses whose job it is to stop our offenses. They are well coached. They are prepared. They know what things they have to do to stop us from scoring. Point number two, fix the defense and you will see many of the offensive problems go away. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I agree because you got to take some of that pressure off of the offense to say I have to score. I have to do this. I have to.
Can't make no mistakes.
Can't make no mistakes, right?
Yeah. I cannot do anything wrong.
even in our wins, even in our, they want to say, we played so well against Kansas City. No, we didn't play that well in a sense of the fact of we blew Kansas City out or anything like that. We just ran right alongside with them, and we just, we stuck our head out at the end and got that, just like a horse race, you win by a nose.
Right.
That's because of the defensive side of the ball continued to let scores happen, and we just kept powering, and that was all heart. That was truly all heart in the Kansas City game, man. That was all heart. We just wanted it bad.
Hey, folks, I want to introduce you to Jared. I got my Pittsburgh report for Jared. Jared is a constant caller to my show, so I got to give him props. Jared is from Pittsburgh, very apt up on sports, and I think it's his birthday today. So the first thing we got to do is wish Jared a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jared.
Happy birthday.
Go ahead, Jared. What do you got for us tonight? Now I know you want to talk Pittsburgh, but I try to keep it relative. That we can go Thursday.
I'm not going to even throw Pittsburgh in tonight. I'm going to talk about the Raiders. The Raiders have got to wake up, and they've got to wake up now.
There you go.
I mean, after what happened Sunday, Howard, I would say a little cheesed off, if you will, Howard, what I saw on Sunday. But now, however, the Raiders have got to get it back, obviously, on Thursday night on a short week, however, with the Bolts coming into Vegas, however. Hopefully, the Raiders will be ready to go. Hopefully, however, with them being back again on home field, however, they'll be ready to knock it out, so to speak, and Carr and company will be able to beat the Bolts. I think Anthony Lynn and the Chargers, however, they just have nothing going for them at this point. I think Lynn might be out of there very soon. However, the Raiders have got to keep their playoff hopes alive. If they really want to make a statement here and they keep at least alive for Christmas week, this is the game to do. If you don't win this game, you might as well just stop it. Wait till next year. You cannot lose this game against a conference foe like San Diego, LA. Here I'm homeless in San Diego, but yeah, the Raiders have got to get back the momentum. I mean, last week was not a kind week to them. Hopefully now, they'll be ready to go on Thursday night, and I think they'll be ready to go.
Okay, folks, you talk. I'm going to try to fix a technical issue, and hopefully it'll improve some things. Go ahead, and again, thanks for calling in, Jared. Peggy,
Captain
boss,
Jack.
go ahead.
No, Captain Jack, I'd love to stay, but I got a limitation here, and I've got to run. It was so good to see you, my boss, and
Good to see you, Peggy.
all props and respect. I learn something every time I listen to you. I really do.
And I thank you for your commentary today, because I thought I was going to be the only person throwing jabs, and sometimes that don't look good. They get mad at my boss for throwing jabs, but you was right along there with me. You felt what I was thinking in my head, so I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Captain Jack got to run, but I love you, and we're going to talk soon.
Definitely. Peggy, thanks again for being here. I appreciate you spending time with us.
Bye-bye, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye, Peggy. Thanks again, honey. So it's you and I, MOBB, and I say, let me get, and again, I don't know how long you can be on, and so you tell me when you need to split as well, because I don't want to get I'm
waiting on Black Ice to get dinner ready, so I got a few more minutes.
Okay, good. And so we're gonna go up. Okay, let me get my 2-spot back. Okay, there we go. I got my 2-spot back on. And again, Raider Neil, if you're on live and you see that Raider Neil threw me $3.99, need $2 more, Neil. But if you go $5 and more or $4.99 and up, you get an entry into the when I'm giving away prizes, and I got prizes to give away. I got a Damon Arnett signed jersey as one prize. I got the Jack Daniels stuff, the prize pack for Jack Daniels. And again, I appreciate Jared. We're trying to get the people to hear everybody, and there's some comments there, and I'm going to try to put them up in there. But go ahead, Bob. I'm going to try to fix an issue. Hopefully, we can get some better output.
Oh wow, man! Captain Jack gave me a show for a few seconds, boy, man.
Yeah, you're there. You're there.
Yeah, well, there's not a whole lot to say. We're in a tough position right now as far as where we stand as far as the playoffs go. But Raider spirit is that we never die, and as long as there's some sort of chance, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep trying to fix the problems, whether it be our offense in the red zone, or it's just the defense as a whole and things like that. Because I really believe on the as far as the defensive line, we're doing very well. We're doing extremely well. We're putting pressure on people that they said we couldn't put pressure on. We're making things happen on the defensive line, but it's just when we get into that secondary, man, that's we're just hurting. We're hurting real bad in the secondary. So whatever we need to do to fix that problem, whether it's in the next 3 games or if it's on the off season, whatever it is we need to do, we need to really, really put some fire under our defense and make some things happen, man. Make some things happen because we have a solid team. We have potential to be big. We have potential to be the team that we all want to see in the playoffs and maybe even a little further than the playoffs. But you got to have some leadership, some coaching that's going to fuel that fire. You could have all the talent in the world, but if you can't motivate the talent, then we have nothing. So if the change of defensive coordinators is what's going to put the fire under people, then hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, man, because all I want to do is see the Raiders be great. I've been here for too long. I'm not going nowhere. I'm always going to wear the silver and black and rep them and scream and yell. And when they piss me off, I'm going to say what I got to say about them because, they're my family. I don't let too many people outside of folks that wear silver and black talk about the Raiders. When I'm at work and things like that, you hear this and this and this and this, and I shut them down real quick because I don't play that. But me being invested in this team for so long, I feel like I have the right to say something when they're not performing, so I'm always going to make my opinion, whether that, hurts somebody's feelings or they say, well, my boss is not, how can he be such a Raider fan? And then he says something bad about the Raiders. Well, it's just like your own family, right? You won't let nobody else talk about your family, but you'll sure get in your family's face when they ain't right. So that's just the way I feel. It's no disrespect to the team. No disrespect to the coaching staff, no disrespect to the fans, but I feel like I've earned the right over many years of battle and being on the sidelines and watching this firsthand and traveling across the country. I've earned the right to say something when our team ain't playing well. And so I'm always going to say it, but when they're playing right, boy, nobody yells louder than my boss when things are going good. But when they're going bad, man, I get loud too, so.
Yeah, I agree. And again, folks, hopefully I got and I'm trying to put everything up to about on blast. So hopefully we'll be able to hear the callers. Jared, Jared dropped out, and I apologize, Jared, because of the back and forth we got. But thank you for calling in. Thank you for your views. Jared was spot on. The Raiders have got to get out. They're tripping over themselves. They're doing all the things to kill themselves, and it's just there's nothing that we can do other than to witness it, and it's so hard to witness it, and that's just disheartening. Oh, I gotta do something here too. I gotta move you. Oh, did I move you? It's so you're over on my spot. I sound like Sheldon right now. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, because people were saying, no, that's not Captain Jack. That's a good-looking guy. Because I
don't know what you're looking to do, man.
Yeah, but it's like I felt like said Sheldon, you're in my spot. But I just noticed that when we went out of the 3-shot. But again, I want to thank everybody for being here as well, and thanks for your insight too, there, Mob. Because again, like you said, don't let anybody else talk about your team other than family. And family can talk about it because it's family. It's like when you're sitting around the table at Thanksgiving, you can have those quarrels, but if you're the guest, you might want to shut up.
Yep. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. It's a family only thing, you know, when it comes to these Raiders, man. And people, like I said, folks at my job and places that, you know, wherever I see them, because, you know, everywhere I go, I'm fully Raidered out, maybe not in the mob boss mask, but people stop me all the time and they say, man, everywhere I see you're always got Raider gear on. And I said, man, because this is a lifestyle, this is a culture, and this is something I do 24/7. I don't just do it on Sundays, right? So I used to hear Thanos say 367 days of the year because he does it on overtime.
There you go.
That's kind of the way I feel about it, man. I can't put it down. Even in the off season, wherever you see me, you're always going to see me repping them Raiders and talking about the Raiders and doing that kind of thing. So yeah, you'll hear me say whatever, you know, good or bad or whatever it is, but that's because I'm a family member. But I'm not going to let somebody outside the family say it. I'm going to tell you that. You're going to have a problem on your hands with the mob boss. That's
right. Hey, if you want to talk to me, you want to talk to mob boss, we're definitely talking about what the F is going on in Oakland. Now, I tell you, if you weren't here earlier, Peggy was talking, and I don't know if you heard all of Peggy's choices or who she said might be coming forward as defensive coordinator. Do you want me to go over what she said there, Mob, to get you caught up?
Yeah, you could, because I know there's a few names that are, you know, kind of scattered out there that are being targeted out there and thrown around out there, but that always happens in the first, you know, as soon as somebody gets fired, you hear all these names start flashing out there. And I'd love to hear what Peggy's thoughts were as far as who she thinks needs to come in.
Well, first off, I'd like to say that she agreed with me that Greg Williams would be awesome. Okay, that was one that she said, and I've been beating the drum for Greg Williams even prior to the debacle with the Jets. Dan Quinn of the Legion of Boom fame is out there, and he would be a good one. And I said, yeah, we had Ken Norton Jr., but why get the understudy when you can get the teacher? And I think Dan Quinn
I agree with that.
Great. Wade, she was also talking about Wade Phillips, and I agree that Wade Phillips would be a great guy, and he wants the job per reports. And he can take whatever we have on this defense, not necessarily groom a 3-4. He's going to take the best players and put them in a position to perform. And remember, he already knows how to do that with Joyner and Littleton, so that would be great for that as well. Lovie Smith with ties with Gruden, obviously, in Tampa, and also Raheem Morris, again, with ties to Gruden in Tampa, were some other names. She did not mention Matt Patricia, but to be honest, I think Matt Patricia was purely on the coattails of being a Bill Belichick disciple. And I sorry, Matt, go somewhere else and prove that you are a good coordinator, and then maybe in about another 10 or 12 years, the Raiders might be calling you. And one of my viewers also was talking about, and he's not here, I wish he was in on this, Winston Moss, and I'll just throw that name out there as well, because Winston was over with the AAF, I believe, in LA, and had a deep team there. I don't know what he's doing now, but, you know, I wouldn't mind Winston Moss, and of course he's a Raider, so that would be a good name to bring in as well. Who are your choices, and what do you think?
Well, first and foremost, Captain, like you were saying, Gruden or Mark or Mayock, whoever makes this decision, right? It's all about chemistry. So you got to make sure that you don't bring in somebody just because they're a big name or they've accomplished this over there or whatever the case may be. You got to make sure the chemistry is right, and first of all, the chemistry has to be right with the head coach, and that would be Mr. Gruden. So I think he needs to have a big part in that, and whoever's selected, and if it's somebody from, you know, Tampa Bay that he's already got a good chemistry with, because they have to work in sync with one another. You can't just bring somebody in and say, run my defense, but, you know, me and you don't get along, or we don't think, or we're not like-minded. So it has to be somebody that Gruden's already had a good chemistry with, and then it's always got to be somebody that's motivational, because we have so many young players on the defense. it takes a motivational type of person. I could teach you how to guard a receiver or whatever the case may be. But if I can't get into your brain and motivate you to perform the way I teach you, it does no good. So honestly, I think Gruden needs to get in there and really, really think and bang his head against the wall. Who do I have the best chemistry with, who can come in and motivate my defense to do the right thing? So if it's somebody from the past, an old Tampa Bay coach or whatever the case may be, I think the chemistry has to start with Gruden and whoever the choice is. And then that same chemistry has to cross over into the chemistry with the players on the field, because no matter who you bring in, if the players don't respond, it's not going to do us any good, right? So they have to have somebody that the players can respond to, they can trust. Players play better when they trust who they're behind. Now, Ken Norton is somebody they're used to being around a little bit. They understand him, they know him, so maybe that might be a good fit because they're used to him. But like I said, the chemistry's got to start with Gruden and whoever the pick is, and then the chemistry has to transfer over to those defensive players, because we got to get some motivation behind those guys, because we can't play in spurts. And that's how we kind of played in this whole season on defense. We played in small spurts where we looked great and small spurts, but in the big scheme of things, we're falling apart. And like I said, I keep picking on it and I keep saying it. We got to get a secondary coach that's going to get in there and fix our secondary, because our safeties they're not terrible players. That's not what I'm saying. They're not executing correctly. And so somebody's got to get into these guys' brains and say, instead of you playing soft, you need to man up on them. You need to put a body on them. You need to take him all the way down the field instead of letting him go, 5 yards and then you let him go free. We can't do that anymore, because we've seen us getting beat too bad where we ain't got a safety or anybody within 15 feet of somebody, and they're just running wild out there. So it's all about chemistry, man. It's all about chemistry. And honestly, I think the chemistry between our former coach was just not there, because it was obvious the chemistry wasn't there because the players weren't responding.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's got to be all about the chemistry.
We mentioned Del Rio, and I said, I don't want Del Rio. Okay. No.
I was trying to stay away from Jack.
No. I got you. That this did not come out of my boss's mouth.
No
way.
Right.
No how.
What I'm going to say, Captain Jack, is I have a great passion and a great love for Jack Del Rio. And I feel like Jack Del Rio really had us in the, going in the right directions. And there were some pieces of the puzzle that just weren't there to help him get over the hunch. So it kind of hurt me when Jack Del Rio left, even though bringing Gruden in was a big boost, because all of us love Gruden and we've been there through the wars of Gruden and things like that. So we were excited about having him back. But I was really hurt, by Jack Del Rio leaving. And so to bring him back into the organization, who knows? Who knows? Because he's very well respected in the organization. He's very well respected by players. So like I said, again, it's all about chemistry. So the guy that brings the chemistry to make it all work, bring him back. Bring him back, because we love Jack. I love Jack. So bring him back. I'm all for that. I was trying to stay away from that because it's all over the blogs and things like that. And people are saying, oh, go back and get Jack. And so I kind of didn't want to, throw out the old typical what everybody's saying type of thing. But I'm all about chemistry, and that's what makes it work. So if Jack Del Rio can come in and bring that chemistry that he had a few years back with us and get the fire, because, boy, I know you remember some of them days in the Coliseum and how passionate and how exciting it was, and Jack made that atmosphere happen. And so if he can come back and do that again and raise the level, bring him back, man. Bring him back.
I'm going to disagree.
I knew you would.
and only because that and again, I love Jack Del Rio as a Raider in his the way he is, because he is a Raider. But knowing what I know about him, as a coach, and that's with his performances in Jacksonville. What I'm hearing reports of what he was in Oakland. And again, this is not conjecture, it is reporting. But when it's being reported that you're the last one in the building and the first one out, no. One thing I like about John Gruden is he's the first one in the building and the last one out. Okay. Right. So I admire that. And again, I love Jack Del Rio as the fact that he's a Raider. There are other issues which I won't even touch upon because it's very taboo. But I don't want Ken Norton Jr. I like Dan Quinn. But my two top candidates are the old dudes, is Wade Phillips, and actually Greg Williams, not the old dude and the FU dude, because that's what Greg Williams is. Greg Williams is the FU dude. And right. Greg Williams does work well with fiery people like he worked well with Sean Payton. Okay. So he can work with Gruden if he wants to. Now, Greg Williams might be a head coach somewhere, so he might be out of the equation. If Wade Phillips wants the job and that's what he wants to do, because he doesn't want to be a head coach, he wants to be the DC. If he's the best of the candidates, sure, I'll take him. But I don't think it's going to be up to Gruden who his DC is, because he got fired, or his DC got fired from above. So it'll be a combination of Mike Mayock and the boss, Mark Davis, figuring out who's going to come in. And, Rod Marinelli might not survive the culture clash of what is going to be going on in the offseason. And oh, by the way, John, and I've said this before, you need to work on your friggin' offense too.
Yeah. I agree totally. And if, like I said, if it's Wade Phillips or whoever it is, there's a lot of good, experienced coaches out there that could come in and take the job. There's some veteran coaches out there, but maybe it's somebody that we haven't even, put on the radar yet. Maybe it's somebody young coming out of college, one of these coaches that's looking for their chance in the NFL. And maybe this is their opportunity to come in and put some fire. Because like I said, it's all about who can communicate to those players on the field and get the best out of them. Like I said, I don't want to just rely on past history, somebody's past history and say, well, dang, he did this over there or he did this over there. Because we've seen that. We've seen that in the Raider organization before, where we've gone out and got coaches because they did well other places, and then they come to our organization and we don't get much out of it. So I'm really wanting to hope that Mayock and Mark and Gruden get together and put their heads together and really pull somebody from their gut, from their heart, and knowing that the chemistry is going to work, and we're going to be able to, translate that chemistry on the field with the players and get the best out of our players and motivate them to a point where they're going to want more. They're going to play harder. They're going to do, they're going to do the things we ask, that kind of thing. So it's going to be weird next 3 weeks. Seeing how this goes, and then in the offseason, figuring out who's going to be the new defensive coordinator. It's going to be strange, and we're all going to be on pins and needles waiting to find out who that choice is going to be. But man, it's something has obviously, something had to change. The change has been, started. The process of change has started, and now it's just a matter of finding that perfect puzzle piece. Just kind of the same way we rebuilt the offense. It was all about pieces here and there, and then we finally got a pretty good puzzle picture together. Now we got to do the same thing on the defense side of the ball, and obviously it's starting with the coaching.
That's it. And again, I loved having Peggy on. I love having you, MOBB. And I know you're busy, so I appreciate the fact that you're taking some time out.
Yeah.
because and getting all dressed up for me, man. I just threw a shirt on. You know, I feel bad.
This is the thing, right? Me and you have been going back and forth, you know, for years, and then, you know, over the last couple of weeks, you've been saying, "Hey, Mom, you know, get a chance to come on with me." And you know, I'm usually at work during this time of the day, and you know, I was able, you know, because I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, and so I was able to get away from work today. And so I said, "Man, let me get all shined up and get all Raidered up and go see Captain Jack, man, and talk some of this Raider football."
Oh, well, I appreciate. I'm sorry you're feeling under the weather, but it's our gain that we have you here.
Well, you know, man, I could, man, unless they got me, you know, on a hospital bed or something like that. If it's about the Raiders, man, I've spent many games out there coughing and puking and whatever else, getting over flus and whatever else, because that's how passionate I am about this team and what I believe in. So, you know, I could deal with a little bit of a cough and a fever or whatever the case may be, and talk Raider football, man. I always got time for that.
Well, and remember, I got to get you one. Well, which camera am I on? Is it this one? I got to get you one of these on that so you can sport it on that wonderful jacket of yours.
Yes, Captain Jack. Okay, so yes, Captain Jack, I definitely need that because I need to represent you on here. I was able to get a few other folks on there this season. Raider For Life, our Raider Nation story, I got their patch on there this season, and a few other folks, man. And it's very important to me that I represent those people who I truly believe are passionate the way I'm passionate, and they're always, and you guys put these platforms out to talk about Raider football. So yeah, I need that patch so I can represent you as well.
Well, we'll get that squared away. And I is that a volume 2 issue coming out pretty soon?
Yes. Okay. So we pushed it back a week or so. We were going to try to get this out before Christmas. It doesn't look like we're going to, because we had to push it back only because of the fact of our brother Ty Brown passed away over the last week or so. And he is in this second edition. We were able to get his interview in the second edition, and we had a lot of promo stuff put together for the magazine to come out. But we decided that we wanted to add the memory of Ty into our promos. So we're working on the promos to get the magazine out, but it's coming real soon. It's a great edition. The first edition was good, but man, this second edition with Gorilla Rilla on the front, there's stories about him and his life on the inside, his wife, her stories in there. There's so many great people that are in this one. I mean, we kind of set the bar in the first magazine, but man, we just blew the ceiling off this second one. So you guys just stay patient, but it's coming. Like I said, we just wanted to make sure that we included in the promos our brother that man, that was so tragic and so heartbreaking. And, you know, that's one of the things about social media that I really don't like. Before I could even get a phone call, I had opened up social media, and it was already on social media before somebody could even call me. And I don't like to hear that kind of information about family members that way. You know, you want to hear something that serious from another family member, and to open up Facebook and all of this stuff and seeing it on there, it was really, really heartbreaking. And like I said, I had just talked to him just before that because we were trying to make arrangements for me to get out there to Atlanta for the Atlanta game and be a part of the festivities down there. So I just communicated with him and talked to him quite a bit. And then, you know, I open up my social media and I see the news. And then, you know, before I could get off social media, my phone was just going crazy with all the messages and the phone calls. And man, so we want to push this second magazine out the right way in honor of our brother, because we miss him. We just miss him. So it's coming soon, though, Jack.
No, that's and I agree. Like I said, Sonny Jeffers wants to know how to get the second magazine. Please please put that out there, Mob. You know, now it'll be pushed on a lot of the sources, and I know that you'll, Sonny. I hope you be able to keep up. But when I know the information, I'll push it. Make sure that you are friends with Mob Boss and Raider Tone, I believe.
Raider Tone. Yeah. Follow me, Mob Boss, Raider Tone, or Mike Mejia, Sexy Mike for some of y'all. Follow us three. We do have a Raider Nation magazine page on Facebook that you can follow and keep up with all the details. Yeah, and just so you know, the first edition is still on sale. It's discounted through the holidays, so it's only $10 right now. You can get your first one if you haven't got the first one yet. I believe also when the second one comes out, we're gonna do a special where you could get both magazines at a discounted price. You get it for, I believe, $25, and you get both copies of the magazine if you haven't got the first one yet. But like I said, the first magazine is still an amazing magazine. If you haven't got it, go out and get that one. But this second one, man, you just because of the historical factor, it's just weird. I'll give you one more thing about the magazine, the second one. We did some pages, tribute pages in that magazine, and of all the fallen Raiders that wore silver and black. And so it was almost kind of fitting that Ty Brown was already interviewed in this magazine before we even knew anything was going to happen. And so it was almost like it was fitting for him to be in that magazine, man, to go alongside with all of those other fallen Raiders that wore the jersey. And so, yeah, go out and just support the magazine. Like I said, follow me, follow Raider Tone, follow Mike Mejia, follow the Raider Nation magazine page on Facebook, and we'll definitely get that magazine out to you guys. The magazine has done well. It's already been in Canada. It's been in the UK. It's been everywhere. People have reached out, and that's the one thing I really love about the Raider Nation. It is truly worldwide, and people are reaching out to us from every corner of the globe saying, "Hey, I heard about this magazine. How do I get it?" And and I tell Black Ice sometimes, I'm like, "Wait a minute, did you see where this came from? This came from this country," and I'm like, Australia. I got this guy, a couple guys from Australia that sent me some messages, and they wanted some Mob Boss merchandise, but they wanted that magazine. And I said, well, we'll get it there somehow. And this is the best thing about it. It cost me more to ship the magazine than the magazine was actually that we sell it for. But because of the fact that so many people around the globe wanted it, I didn't care how much it cost to get it to them. I was going to get that magazine to them. So that's just the way it is.
Well, in fact, I think I got 2 of the first ones, and I'll be honest, I haven't opened it because I wanted it to be like mint editions.
And so many people have said that to me, and I have had a lot of people bought the first edition. They bought 2.
Yeah.
And the reason they wanted one that they could put in a frame or keep in mint condition, and one that they could actually read and things like that.
No, I got 2 in mint condition. I don't want to open it now that I know that there's some more.
Yeah, there's more coming. There's more coming, Captain. So at least open one so you can see what good stuff is in there, and you can get ready for the second one. But I really appreciate the love that everybody's put out there. Supporting the magazines, and it's just a great thing for the family, because that magazine, when we came up with the concept and the idea, it was truly all about us. It was because you have magazines out there. Even though we focus on the Raiders, of course, we focus on you're going to have interviews from team players, coaches, and all that kind of stuff in the magazine. But we wanted to focus on the people that drive that team, the fans that get behind that team, the fans that travel around the country, give their time and their effort, and they rock this Raider shit, 24/7, right? So we wanted to give the fans an opportunity to, put their spin on what's going on in the Raider Nation, get to know some of the personalities that are out there, some of the people that are all across the country from here and there and there and there. We wanted to give everybody, because there's so many organizations, so many people, so many different events and things like that. So we wanted to cover, because our team and our fan base is so much more than just football. It's way bigger than that. It's way bigger. You don't see this kind of environment around other teams. You know, you might have teams that have large followings, but they don't do it the way we do it. And one of the biggest reasons that we did this is because I have friends that are not Raider fans. And they said, well, why do you do this stuff? Why do you dress up like that? Why do you, spend your whole vacation, instead of taking your kids to Disneyland, you take them to a Raider game? Why are you doing this? And I said, you just don't understand. And me trying to explain it to them really didn't work. So I said,
I would have said, why don't you?
Yeah, well, I've said that many times. Why don't you jump on board, and then you can understand it, because you have to feel it. You have to be there. It's not something that somebody can describe to you. So we were trying to figure out a way to compile that energy and all of the stuff that goes on into, a magazine to be able to distribute. And honestly, I've gotten a lot of folks who are not Raider fans buy the magazine. And the only reason they bought the magazine is try to understand what all of this stuff is about, and why we're doing what we're doing, and why the black hole exists, why these organizations exist, KOS and all these different things. And they're like, I see it everywhere. I see it all over the place, but I didn't understand why people do it. And so now they read the magazine and they say, oh, I get it now. I get it. This is something way, and they actually admire it. Especially here, being in California, you're either a Niner fan or you're a Raider fan pretty much. And so even some of the Niner fans are like, man, wow, I didn't even understand how dedicated you guys are to this until I seen your magazine. And because I believe this is the only one, Captain Jack, if I'm not mistaken, this is the only fan-based magazine in the whole entire NFL. I don't think there's no other fan base that is doing that. And that just shows how big the Raider Nation is, and the fan base is, and how important it is.
Yeah, and I agree. Now, Sonny, I got to take some umbrage to one word. And let me show his comment again. And then I'm going to, and I agree with you, except one thing. When I dress up, I'm in uniform. I don't wear a costume.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I don't wear. When I am dressed up, I am in me painted garb.
As Mr. Violet would tell me, we are in our battle gear.
There you go.
And I've been tailgating with Violator for many years. We tailgate right next to each other. And when he sees me in the morning, he doesn't see me as Mob Boss. He sees me as Kevin, right?
Right.
And we'll sit there and talk. Now, when he shows up, I see him about 3:30 in the morning. He is already ready.
Yes. He's
got paint on. He's ready to go. And he tells me, he says, well, what's going on? Where's your battle gear? And I said, oh, don't worry. I got it. I'm just give me a little bit. He says, man, you need to be ready for battle when you show up here.
Yes.
And I haven't figured out how to get that done just yet. You know what I mean? Because like I said, traveling, to Raider game back in the day, it's passe now, right? But traveling, early in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not ready to put this on. And it takes me a kind of a minute to get into that mind space, because I'm not exactly the same individual as I am without the battle gear. I'm not the same person. I mean, I'm still a diehard Raider, no matter what, whether I have this on or whether I don't. But there's something that takes over once I don the battle gear. Once I put that battle gear on, it's a whole different thing. And like I said, it's hard to explain. My wife, Black Ice, always tells me, okay, game day is over. We're home now. You got to calm down. You got to take it down. It's hard to even come out of the personality, man. I just change into something else. And it's that battle gear. And you know what I'm talking about, Captain Jack. Because Because when I hear that, I can hear you from, way across the parking lot, and I said, Captain's on the way.
Yeah.
It's kind of thing that just takes over us once we don the battle gear.
Yeah. And people, and they see two different captains because of YouTube, because there's the pseudo low key captain that does the shows, because I am a broadcaster, and this is Captain Jack throwing out some, and I have my good friends on, I have MOBB on, I have Peggy on, and trust me, I can't do it 2 hours talking like this, because my throat would be all effed up the entire day.
Right.
I can do it for a game, but I do enough of this where and it's still the same. I still have the same intensity, but I don't have on my garb. But when I do my videos with Wayne, and folks, again, I'm got to do another plug. Make sure you're going over to Fan Media and watching Violator, Wayne, Captain Jack, Jay, Raider Homer, and I won't say what his name is. I don't think a lot of people know who it is. I know Mob Boss does.
Absolutely, that's my buddy.
Yeah, but and then we're out with Ken Thompson of SportsX Radio, and we're all in our gear. So make sure you're going to Fan Media to look at the Raider Nation live, the super fans. And again, I hate the term, but I hate the
term, Captain. And I know people use that term to kind of identify us a little bit or whatever, but I know I don't believe that. I know you don't believe that. I definitely know Violator, Gorilla, and some of the others do not believe in the whole super fan thing. We are just diehard Raiders, because you tear these masks off and we're still going to beat your face in if you say something bad about the Raiders. The intensity is still there 24/7. No matter if you're donned in your battle gear or you're not. So I'm a diehard Raider. I'm not a super fan. If people want to call me that, then that's their choice. I'm not going to take that away from them. But me inside my heart, because the cost or the battle gear, if you must, does not put me at a level above anybody else or anything else, because everybody's doing the same thing, cheering for the same team, trying to get it all across the same way. So this is just, if anybody knows the real true backstory of where the mob boss came from, they'll understand that this is something totally different. I mean, honestly, this is a representation of the individual that gave me the desire to be a Raider fan. This is just a representation of that person, because he's no longer with us. So that was my way of keeping his spirit alive, and taking him with me to every Raider game. So I'm not a super fan. I'm a diehard fan, and I ain't going nowhere. So if you want to call me that, fine. But me coming straight from the mob boss, I am a diehard fan.
There you go.
And it's funny, Captain Jack, because I got friends that have known me for years, who have tailgated with me for years, long before there was a persona of the mob boss, and they're just now putting the two together. That it's the same person. And they're like, how come you never told me that? How come you never told me that was you? And I said, because I'm not the Kevin that you know me. Once I change into this battle gear, I am mob boss. So I'm not that guy. That guy gets left in the car or wherever I left him at. You know what I mean? And that's why I never tell people, if you don't know, you don't know. If you figure it out, you figure it out. But I won't never say, and I've taken pictures with, honestly, funny. I'll take pictures with somebody first thing in the morning. As soon as we get out there, I'd take a picture with them and I'd be dressed, or, I'd be my normal self as Kevin. And then, 2 hours later, they say, hey, mob boss, come over here. I need to get a picture with you. And I kind of chuckle underneath, because I'm like, I just took a picture with you, but you don't even know it.
Right.
It's a cool thing. It's a cool thing. I love it, man. I love what we do out there. I love how we represent our Raiders. I love the fan base, and yeah, until they put me in the casket, man, you're going to see Kevin, and you're also going to see my boss out there repping them Raiders hard, always, 100%.
And Polo, you're exclusive too. Polo's giving us some love. And
Polo Rodriguez, that's my man. Congratulations, Polo. Answer my text, man. I sent you a text. You got to answer me.
Okay, I'm missing something.
Oh, you didn't know? Polo man, am I spilling? No, I'm not spilling the beans. It's all over social media. Polo and Claudia are engaged.
Oh, okay.
So and that just happened, and man, and what a way to do it, man. Polo, thumbs up to you, man. Taking her to Tom Flores' house and getting it done. How much, bro? That was awesome. That was awesome, and I'm so happy for you two. You know, like I said, man, check your text, check your phone, man. Get back at me, Polo, because I miss you, brother. I miss you guys, but congratulations to you and Claudia, man. I'm praying for you guys that everything is good and you guys are out there safe. And man, I just miss all you guys.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, the fact that Polo, I mean, I'm going to give him the we're not worthy. Okay.
Right.
With Polo grabbing, and I say it in a nice way, Polo grabbing that, man, hats off to you. We're not worthy. And oh my God. Okay.
Hey, man, Polo is a good dude, man. He's a good dude at heart, man. And so, so that is, for him, I think that, man, congratulations, Polo.
There you go.
You made a great choice, and you guys are going to be real good together, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I saw in the pictures a little while ago. I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool. You know, Polo's hanging out with and if y'all don't know who Miss Claudia is, that is the I want to get it right. It's the mistress of the black hole.
Yes.
Okay.
Mistress of the black hole.
Okay, yeah. Because I know it, and I wanted to make sure that I would have said the right answer. No. Yeah, it's Mistress of the Black Hole, and dude, you're definitely punching over your weight class, and I like that, man, because that's pure. We are not worthy because she's awesome, you're awesome, and y'all look awesome together. Okay,
absolutely. I'm really proud of my brother, man, and he deserves it, man. He really deserves something positive like that in his life. Somebody that's gonna keep you straight, Polo. I know that's what that is.
There you go.
Keep you in line, brother. You know what I mean? And I know how that goes, man, because I got one too. Black eyes, boy, keep you in line. So Polo, man, congratulations. Claudia, congratulations. I love you guys. You know, we'll be in touch real soon. And, you know, congratulations, definitely.
No. See, Asylum, there's Queen of the Darkness, and that's Angelina.
That's Angelina. They're two different people. You got Queen of the Darkness, and then you got Mistress. So two different people. Yeah,
Queen of the Darkness and Mistress of the Black Hole.
See, and that's the thing, right? There's so many representations, right? Of folks out there. Sometimes people get crossed, you know, who this is and who that is, but that's why you need to really involve yourself in the Raider Nation and all the things that we're doing, because there's so many of us. You know, you got to get to know your family members so you don't confuse your family members with somebody else. You know what I mean? And not only get to know them, you know, in their personas, as you may say, but get to know them on a personal level and know the person underneath. And you're going to find out some amazing things about some of these folks who others on the outside would look at us and say we're crazy. And we're running around with these, you know, battle gear, you know, outfits on and so on and so forth. And they say, oh, those people are just crazy. But when you get underneath and you really find out about these people, you find out these people are lawyers, doctors, firemen, you know, like you and me working for the government and so on and so forth. There's so many good-hearted people out there, man, that are out there. And so get involved with the Raider Nation, get involved with the family, get to know these people, you know, back and forth and get to know who's underneath all of these personas so you can really understand the passion and everything behind it, man. We got some great family members out there.
Well, I tell you what, MOBB aka Kevin, but it is MOBB now.
It is MOBB right now.
That's right. I want to thank you. I'm gonna go right into the camera. There you go, because I got to figure out which camera I'm on. I want to thank you personally for being here. The problem is I can't monitor, so that's the one thing. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank Peggy Holmes for being here. It's been my pleasure having you on, because trust me, I got people that watch the shows, but they don't want to listen to me the entire time, because trust me.
It's always good. It's always good, Captain, for you to give me that phone call or that text and say, hey, can I get you on, and things like that. And you know, if I can make it work, I'm gonna make it work. I really appreciate you. I appreciate the love that you show me over the years, the guidance. I've watched you, you know, for many years. I've just watched you, how you carry yourself and things like that. And that makes me a better person to know that there's a certain way to do this. Not trying to say that everybody's not doing it right, but there are some true dedicated people out there in the nation that I've watched since, you know, even some since I was a kid, and they've taught me how to carry myself through the nation and represent it well. And you're one of those people. I really truly admire you. I admire everything that you do. So when it's one of the coolest things in the world to look at my phone and say, Captain Jack just text me, or Violator just text me, or you know, Rilla or Mark just text me. To me, man, that is the highest honor, that these people are not only, you know, people that I've looked up to, but now I could call them friend, I could call them brother, and if I need anything, I could get on my phone and call them. And so you guys, you know, much respect, much love. I appreciate you guys. And just thank you for having me involved in all of this. I just really appreciate it.
You know, I'd like to have you on further, but it's 11 o'clock my time. I know you need to get some food.
Yeah. She keeps winking at me that dinner's ready, but I keep telling her Captain Jack's on.
No. Tell hey, Ice, he's giving excuses now. It ain't me. It ain't me. And much love to you as well, Ice. Always love you, babe, and the kids and everybody.
All right. She sends her love, Captain. You know she loves you, brother.
All right. Well, again, MOBB, thank you for being here, folks. If you are here, thanks again. Make sure you are here. Now, Wednesday, normally I'm on with Violator and Ref Guru on the NFL Nation Live, but there might be some technical difficulties. So if we're not on tomorrow, apologies. Thursday, I will be on. I'm going to try to do a pregame. I don't know. But if you don't want to listen to those people that are broadcasting the game, if you are an Apple user, and I am not an Apple user, but I bought an iPad or an iPad in order to do this, please go to Colorcast. I will give you all you need to know, and you don't have to listen to a bunch of bozos. Yes, I actually went to broadcast school, so I can tell you what's going on. And if they say something that's worthwhile, if I catch it, I will let you know about it. Go to the Colorcast app on Apple. That's on Thursday, and then obviously I will be on after the game. And again, MOBB, thank you again there, sir. And again, blessings to you, your family, Ice, and everybody. Thank you for being here. Don't go away, MOBB. I'm going to do the outro, and then I'll let you go eat, I swear.
All right, no problem. I'm here for you.
All right. Y'all take care. I got to push some buttons here. It's a little bit of a technical stuff, but I'll get it together. Yeah, I do this. I'm a one-man crew. So we'll see y'all in just a little bit.
Bring it in tight. Hey, we got, baby. All we need. That's all we got right here, all right? You're going to get everything out of me. I tell you every time. Get all of it from me, all right? Get everything you got and let's see what happens. 3 on 3, 1, 2, 3, hey.
It'll be first down and 10. How about Derek Carr and the Raiders pushing it right at the Chiefs right now? Jackpot, baby. Touchdown, Vegas.